there's probably some familiarity in this audience, maybe not, but tell us about EA first, before we dive into you and your career background.
Sure. EA is great. We make fun. So we inspire the world to play. We make video games for a living, which is fantastic. Many of you have probably experienced our products and or your family or friends or folks you know. But as a company, roughly between 4 and 5 billion in revenues, about 10,000 people in 30 plus offices globally around the world.
So some of the games that we might recognize that are EA.
FIFA, Battlefield, Battlefront, Madden, NHL, so big sports division, and then a lot of titles that are shooters and or RPGs, Dragon Age, another popular title.
All right. So I want to start with talking a little bit about how you got into learning and development. And I think it's sort of an interesting one in that there's a blizzard involved. Specifically the blizzard of '96,
Yes.
so that got you sort of launched on this trajectory that
Yeah.
brought you to this stage today.
Sure.
So maybe enlighten us a little bit on that.
Yeah, so I was always interested in 3 things: people, creativity, and problem solving. And came out of school, had a degree in business, degree in computer science, and that was mostly my father's influence saying, get a job in computer science, you'll have a job. I was like, okay, job is good. And then I was working in Philadelphia for a tech firm, and the blizzard of '96 happened, and there was 6 feet of snow on my car, and then the backhoe came and put 6 more feet of snow on my car. I was like, I'm done. I just got to go west. Moved to San Francisco and started exploring options, and was still in technology, moved from tech, so I did project management and program management to marketing, and actually spent 3 years running marketing. It was still trying to find the right combo of people, creativity, problem solving. The short version, in right around 1999, I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and was talking to her because she was an advocate for women's rights and always out in DC protesting one thing or another. She had so much passion, so much energy, and I was like, I love this. You have all this passion and energy. I want that. I want to look at my job and come to work every day and have that. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, well, I see you going. She's like, oh, I see these problems and I can't walk away. I can't not do it. I can't not engage. And that got me thinking, maybe I was thinking about passion wrong. So I was thinking about passion as this high I was looking for. And instead I started thinking about maybe passion is just a lack of apathy, like something that you can't not care about. And this was all kind of talking in the same conversation. She's like, well, it's really obvious what you're passionate about. I was like, tell me. She's like, well, you butt into other people's business. I was like,
I am passionate about that.
I was like,
right.
yeah, okay. She's like, I was like, so I'm a jerk. That's my passion is like being. She's like, no. You solve their problems. Like you're really good at helping people see things differently, looking through new lenses, exploring new options. There's a whole profession out there that does this, and you get paid for it. Like it's like really. And I had never heard of the field of organizational development or organizational psychology. And she's like, yeah. Went, started exploring, got my PhD, started working in the field, started making a difference. Almost 20 years later.
Yeah. So you've got a little bit of that outsider perspective as you look at the work that we do in this room. Obviously, you've been doing it for a while, but you kind of came at it from a different angle than some people may have. What do you think that experience of coming from a computer science background, coming from that background of, oh, there is this thing I didn't know that existed. What do you bring that perhaps somebody who grows up in it didn't bring?
Yeah, well, I think everyone's, we all bring our full learning experiences to what we do, to our fields, to our professions. I think actually one of the things I see is the more successful people are, the more they just tap into the diversity of experience. It may not be career, it may be life, it may be the hobbies you have or your family or the way of relating. I just see so much of people bringing their true, authentic self into it. I think an aha for me coming from the field of computer science to the field of learning is, in the late 90s, systems thinking was huge. It was all about systems thinking and Pegasus systems and the stuff that was happening, and I was baffled by it. I was like, I don't understand the systems thinking thing people are excited about. And I went to a bunch of conferences, and it finally dawned on me that systems thinking is the crux and basis on which computer science is taught. So you can't think about how do you design the control system for a nuclear power plant control panel and the software without thinking about the system of if this goes hot, this goes cold. You have to. And it was just new to learning and development. So for me, that was a thing of like, oh, there's a way of thinking that you can just bring in And it was also a big aha realizing, wow, there's so much to business, to computer science, to finance, to tech, that all, as you start to think about, I love the, everything I learned, I learned in kindergarten idea. I'm constantly learning, like, my son is 7, and he is so much better at relationships than I am. It's amazing, because like we've just spent all this time teaching him how to fill other people's buckets. And I was like, what a concept, fill people's buckets. And it really works. And I've brought his principles to EA and have better relationships as a result.
Right. Well, and you're building a customer base as well
Yes.
for EA, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about some formative figures in your development and why. What sort of, as you think back on your career progression, was there somebody who said, outside of the person you just mentioned who said that you like to butt in, other folks who have been important in how you got to where you are that sort of led you in the right direction?
Yeah, well, so my father was a big influence in my life. He was a lifetime IBMer. So we had an early PC in our home. And I remember playing video games at 14 and him saying, you know what, you need to stop doing that. You can't do it for a living. So it was really fun to tell him I got the job.
I'll show you,
yeah,
Dad.
There might have been a little of that. And so he was definitely one of my heroes growing up. I've had great influences. Part of my grad school process, so when we finished our exams, I needed to get a job. And I couldn't afford to just take a $10 an hour internship. So I reached out to the local network. I did 83 informational interviews, which led to 4 contracts and 2 job offers. And in that process, I met some of the most amazing professionals and just talked to folks in the field, folks who became mentors, who I could tap into and who would share their knowledge and wisdom with me.